Greetings, I'm Marth. That's my nick on the Privateer Press forums, to be correct. And what you are seeing now is the very first installment of Marth and the Machines, a Warmachine sort of video battle report. It will be pictures and some Photoshop foo for now. This installment will feature three things: an introduction to virtual reality tabletop, a battle report between Kraye and Signa, Mark 1, and a personal, nonetheless political statement. Actually, the statement will go first. Privateer Press put a faction pronunciation guide in the Mark II rulebook. While that's designing a game setting like you have a pair, I call BS on some of that. So here's my first and final statement on this. On our side of the globe, there are the following factions: the Empire of Kraye, the Protectorate of Marth, the Nightmare Empire of Kraye, the Retribution of Skura, Mercenaries, and the blue golden end of the food chain, Signa. But enough of that. Let's go on with the virtual reality tabletop introduction. So what you're seeing here is what I like to call virtual reality tabletop. My brother and me resorted to this method for some reasons, namely the lack of an appropriately sized table or board, the lack of terrain, the lack of endurance and nerves to build some, and the lack of space to store either. So using flipchart paper, felt markers and the usual geography symbols, we create our own terrain from scratch. Yeah, you could call it gaming table the lazy man's way, but it does have benefits. It's never the same, you can put any number of pieces any size or shape you want, and you can create thematic terrain without investing months in building and painting. This battle, for example, sports a forest, a pond of shallow water, and a railway track complete with platform and service structure. So here's what Signa brought to the fight. Captain Jeremiah Kraye, aka Marshal Bravestar, together with your run-of-the-mill ironclad average heavy, and the God of Thunder himself. To keep up with that, I deployed the Empire's ice cream cone warrior, Column Commander Alexandra Zerkova, together with my Spriggan Alexander and my trusty Juggernaut Victor. Signa's first turn was, well, simple. Kraye deals out focus, casts Easy Rider, giving everyone Pathfinder in his battle group, and runs, as do the Ironclad and the T-Head. Mine is very plain as well. Zerkova deals out focus, moves into the water due to Pathfinder, casts Watcher. The Spriggan runs, setting himself up to eat a charge. Then the Juggernaut runs and takes position for some serious axe-to-face retaliation next turn. Turn 2, Kraye deals out focus and full tilts the Ironclad, I think, and then moves. The Ironclad then charges right into the Spriggan. Maybe we misplayed here, it says during its normal movement in the spell. At any rate, he triggers Watcher and finds himself with a warland stuck up his pistons, but nothing was taken out. In turn, he knocks the Spriggan down with his Quake Hammer crit. The T-Head just moves and chills in the back. On my turn, Zerkova gives away some focus to the Jax, then casts Twister into open space, which is possible, I think, it just always deviates, which drifts nicely and even damages the Ironclad, for 1 mighty point. The Juggernaut charges in, boosts to hit and freezes the Clad, but fails to utterly wreck him. The Spriggan does that. With the Juggernaut being wrecked, Kraye now gives 1 focus to the T-Head, full tilts him, then moves and shoots at Zerkova for 5 damage. The Thunderhead then proceeds to be nasty and double-handed throws the Juggernaut into the Spriggan, knocking both down and doing noticeable damage to the Juggernaut. In my turn, I screw up. I misread the spell Force Blast. The plan was to have the Spriggan move and keep me safe from Kraye, then push my Juggernaut into the T-Head so he could still whack him and win the game for me. But Force Blast only moves enemy models, which I find out after moving the Spriggan. So I turn angry, run the Juggernaut at the T-Head, and then try to razorwind Kraye to death, but fail 3 times during bad dice to hit or damage. His turn was once more rather simple. The T-Head double-handed throws the Juggernaut into the Spriggan again, doing more damage, and Kraye puts Lady Z full of holes since she's a sitting duck right now. So, I essentially learned one thing. When playing Zerkova, play it safe. That generally means recasting Watcher and camping any focus you have left, instead of going all out. Had I not spammed Razorwind but just cast one, then recast Watcher and feed it, I could have at least put up a better fight. I got other games in with Lady Z since, one of which will be shown in episode 2, and I think she's a nice caster and Watcher an awesome spell. It just gets so much mileage out of a single jack. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed this. Oh, and one last thing. A shout out and toast to Steampunk TV and all others that do live footage video reports. And with that, farewell for now.